So good morning everyone. I'm Nook and I'm here with Jeff. Jeff is the director of Victoria School District International Student Part. Okay, so can you explain about where is Victoria? Because most of the people they only know like Vancouver and Toronto.
So Victoria, it's in British Columbia, Canada. It's on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. Vancouver Island is part of BC. It's actually about the same, it's a very big island, same size as Holland. And it is the capital city of BC. It's 80 kilometers from Vancouver and 100 or so kilometers from Seattle.
So how would you describe Victoria in three words?
In 3 words, that's a tough one. I would say fresh, floral, and oceanside.
Okay,
Right?
I can see the image. I can relate because I was there. And next, how many high schools are there in Victoria?
There's 7 high schools, 7 secondary schools in the Greater Victoria School District.
And what is the highlight of Victoria?
The highlight of Victoria, there's many. City, it's a medium-sized city. It was voted as the best small city in the world. It's a place where people from around the world come for vacation. It has a long history within Canada. Great shopping, restaurants. Everywhere is very close to the ocean. If you're interested in recreational opportunities, tons of recreation. Yeah, it's a lovely, very livable city. Very comfortable.
And what about the school? Highlights of the school. How is it different from other school districts? And like, why should they come to Victoria?
Well, I think, across Canada or British Columbia, you're going to get a very consistent educational experience. The 2 things that I think would separate Victoria would be the city, which I've mentioned. It's a beautiful city, very easy place to live, comfortable for high school age international students. And then the way that our school district has approached international education, we have a lot of supports for international students, including our own homestay program, many staff that can support international students. So they have many different adults they can go to for help when they're in Victoria, academic help or general help.
Personally, what do you like the most in Victoria?
Personally, well, I'm a dad. I have 2 sons who are in the Greater Victoria School District, and the opportunities they have that are all very close to where we live. If they want to play a sport or be involved in an artistic endeavor, there's many opportunities and close. We don't need to drive a long distance, so it's very easy to get involved in pursuits of activities that my kids would like to do, and it's the same for our international students.
So how long have you been in Victoria?
I came to Victoria originally for university, went to University of Victoria in 1996, and I've lived there off and on for the whole time, except for 5 years living in Japan and 2 years living in Vancouver.
So basically 20 years.
Yeah.
Around 20
About, let's say, 21 years.
21 years.
Yeah.
So lots of parents might be asking how would students be living if they go to Victoria School District?
Yeah, and we have our own homestay program. So it's a school district operated homestay program. And we have for each school a homestay coordinator who support and manage homestay arrangement for students. They would be receiving the homestay application, doing the placement, and then providing support. And it's not just the one person, it's in conjunction with the school, with our international education office, with the homestay manager. So again, there's many different adults involved that make sure things are going well.
So parents always concerned about like the family background.
We have a system where our homestay families are all vetted by the school district, by our office, and go through a procedure to become homestay families. So not anybody can be a homestay family. And we have some homestay families who've successfully hosted students for over 10, 15 years. So yeah, we do have a process to ensure that all of our homestay families are aware of their responsibilities as hosts.
What do you think the students like the most in Victoria?
I think it's it would be hard to just choose one thing. Like we have students from 37 different countries and students who come for many different reasons. Some come strictly for academic preparation for university. Some come to engage in an activity like a sport they love. So it's really hard to just say one thing. And there are many things that a student may be impressed with or like about Victoria. I think if I was to choose one thing, it would be that it's a comfortable, easy to get around city where they wouldn't feel overwhelmed. It's not too small in that there's limited services, or it's not too big that it's overwhelming. It's a nice medium size, so there's opportunities without it being too much.
When should the student go to Victoria? I mean, at what age? When should they start to move from their own country to study abroad?
Well, this goes to what we were talking about earlier, the maturity level of the student. So it really depends on each individual student. Some students have the capacity to go at middle school, some, grade 11, grade 10. The most typical, probably grade 10 or grade 11.
10 or 11.
I think that it's nice to start at grade 10. Then you get the 3 years of the graduation program. In your case, it was grade 9,
Grade
right?
9.
Right? And that's probably the best because then you get a year of preparation before the graduation program, but then it is also a 4-year commitment. So,
What is the most asked question about Victoria School District? Like what they concern the most?
well, they want to know a pathway to future success. They want to know often the unique characteristics of each school because each school does have specialized programs that we want to talk about and highlight. Then also, of course, they want to know about homestay, how we place students, and then what is there to do in your city? What's a typical week or weekend look like? Oh, and they also always want to know how much money should the students have as spending money is a really hard
personal.
question.
Yeah. Basically, I always tell the parents that all schools they have the same curriculum, which is BC curriculum,
Yeah.
right? Why should they choose the school? I mean, how is it different in each school?
In each school, I think it's just more finding out what are your interests, what are your passions, and then we'll suggest a few schools that would align with those. Some schools may have, say you're a basketball player and something you want to do. Some schools may have more options for basketball teams. Some schools may have other kinds of extracurriculars like sailing or different clubs that you could get involved in. So that's a big part of it, your passions and extracurriculars. In terms of curriculum, it's all BC curriculum, but there are different electives and course offerings within each school.
What do parents concerns the most about their student when they leave abroad?
How are they doing day to day? Are they feeling supported? Are they feeling comfortable at school, in homestay? There's not one specific. Each family has their own concerns, which is natural.
And do you have any tips on how to make lots of friends when they go abroad?
You have lots of tips, I think.
Yeah.
You did very well.
Yeah.
I would just say be open to all of the activities, extracurricular activities that are available. Keeping yourself engaged and busy on weekends and after school. There's not only all of your local classmates within Victoria, but there's a whole group of international students who are having the same experience, who are keen to develop friendships, stay engaged, seek out opportunities at school and in the community. And when you arrive, we'll have an orientation. During that orientation, many of the opportunities will be presented.
And I think that's the last question.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
ขอบคุณครับ